Hello? Seems to be working. Can we hear me? If we can. The flotation video? Oh, the floating device. Yes, I got rid of it. It's I think I've privated it, to be honest. Can you hear me using my trackpad, or is it coming from up here? Hello? I think it's coming from up there. The chat's a little bit delayed, but we'll make it through. We'll get there. Amazing. Well, let's get right into it then. I have 2 concurrent viewers. How exciting. So hopefully this works. I've flipped the video and I also have my logo on top of it. So I have the link for the legit video in the description box in case you'd rather just watch that. But I'm probably gonna have to pause it and like commentate on it to make sure that I'm not like doing the wrong thing, but I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work. I might get booted. I don't know. We'll see. I just found this clip on another YouTuber's site, so like I'm assuming if they've got it uploaded then it's not gonna get torn down, but you know, we will make things happen as we go. So let's just watch. At the moment I've got the audio coming through up here, hopefully. So hopefully we just watch it together and have a gay old time, but we'll see. Play.
Correct. She and your son have been divorced for 5 years. How many children do you have?
Just one.
How old is that child?
He's 9.
All right, now, Miss Neville, I have a few questions for you. While Miss Hubel was married to your son, did you get along?
Yeah.
Did she come over to your house for dinner?
Well, actually, they lived with me till he was almost 2.
So, she lived with you.
Correct.
Must have gotten along.
This chick is so dramatic.
And when they moved out into their own place,
I watched a little bit of it before I started.
Your grandson?
Correct. I babysat him when they worked, whenever they went out.
But then the marriage went south.
Correct.
And it is your claim that your former daughter-in-law has embarked upon a campaign of harassment, slander, defamation of your character that has gone on for a very long time. You want her to pay for that. Ms. Hubel says quite the contrary. When she was in the midst of a custody battle with your son, you called Child Protective Services on her often. You've harassed her over the years with complaints to Child Protective Services and the police.
Oh, yes.
And as a result of that, she's filed a counterclaim. When did the trouble start with Miss Hubel?
My son was taking my younger son, Dylan, and Jeffrey back to drop him off at his mother's work, the daycare. I was in between my bus routes. I'm a school bus driver. It was pouring down rain. He doesn't drive.
Really setting the scene here. Oh my god, it was the 4th night of July and the rain was pouring and I was just devastated.
So I ran down and gave them a ride up the hill about 1,500 feet to the daycare and dropped him off in front. And my grandson was ecstatic. My grandma dropped him off in the bus. I wasn't on my route. He ran in and I saw him gather all the kids. They came to the window and they're all waving at me. So I smiled and waving at him. She walked over and slapped him and told him to get away from the window.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. My elder son was there, and they turned from the window. Her and the employees that were friends of hers said, "Let's call the school."
Okay, if you could just tell that this lady is insane by like the way that like she's making the daughter-in-law just like she like slap my son's head, and told him to get away from the window. I'm sorry. Like, she obviously is either like one of those like super protective mums that is just like, I don't like you for my son, like you're not the right one, or something like that, or she's just like a total, like, she kind of looks like the kind of chick that'd be like, you know, worshipping crystals and like, I don't know. I mean, if you worship crystals, that's fine. You do you. But I don't know. She just gives me a vibe that I'm not into.
Just I didn't get her in trouble. I didn't know what was going on at the time. I went back on my route. I get a phone call on my bus. My supervisor goes, Debbie, what's going on? I go, I don't know what happened. She said, some lady called and said you kidnapped her kid on her bus. And I said, no, the only thing I did was pick up my grandson and my son. I was mortified. I was
traumatized, devastated, never be the same again.
So that's when the trouble started. What happened with that incident, Miss Hubel?
Actually, what had happened was, after numerous amount of times of her dropping Jeffrey off on the school bus without permission, I had called...
Yeah, more to the point. She was doing things without permission, and now she's getting in shit, and everyone's like,
school district, and spoke to her supervisor, with whom I have a letter stating that I was not harassing in any way, and that she was spoken to and told that he was not allowed to ride that school bus because he was not assigned that.
Okay. Had you, in the past, told your mother-in-law that you didn't want him riding the school bus?
No, we were not to be speaking at that
Why
time.
not?
There was orders.
So that the trouble started before that?
Oh, yes.
Well, then that's what I'm asking. I want to know when the trouble started.
The problem started actually before I left Joshua, my ex-husband. Probably it was the first time that he was arrested for assaulting me.
oh my gosh.
My son was 2 at the time. From that point on, there was no kindling of the relationship with me and Debbie.
Okay. How many times had he been arrested for assaulting you?
Twice for assaulting me. The last time he slammed me into a wall.
I love it when people shake their head. It's like, well, it either happened or it didn't, and if you've got, like, police evidence, pretty sure it did. Like, what are you shaking your head for? Yes, it did, yes.
For my rotator cuff, and I had to have surgery.
Has he been convicted on...
He sure has.
Did he serve
Of course
any
he
jail
has.
time?
Yes, he did.
How long?
He was sentenced to 30 days, but he ended up having an ankle bracelet because whatever kind of medication he was taking, they wouldn't allow him in jail.
What kind of medications do you take?
Miranol?
What is that for?
I don't. All I know is it's THC in a pill. I don't know what it's for.
What kind of ailment does he have?
None that I'm
Do you
aware.
know?
yes.
What?
He has a cancerous esophagus. He has a heart condition, and he has epileptic seizures. So
Okay.
he's on.
You didn't tell me he was convicted of assaulting his former wife.
I need to clear something up.
Uh-huh.
Number one, the lease was in my name. I rented the building because it gave them an opportunity to have their
Tyson's cute. He's downstairs making me dinner while I watch Judge Judy and drink wine, so...
own place.
I'm not interested in that. My
Okay.
question, Miss Neville, is I asked you when the trouble began. And what you said was it started over this bus incident, which would have sounded really petty to me.
Yeah.
For her to file a complaint if she had a problem with you. You would all live together, pick up the phone and say, Debbie, I don't want you dropping Jeffrey off on the bus. But that didn't happen.
Correct.
So the problem started before. And common sense would indicate to me you would have not been happy with your son's arrest for assault and spending any time in jail. And that probably precipitated the bad feeling between the two of you.
No shit. Don't piss on her leg and tell him it's raining, mate.
Which predated the school bus incident.
No, it didn't. She misled
What do you
on
mean?
her act.
No, it didn't.
No,
So what you're saying is the assault occurred before the school bus incident.
Oh yes, this was before we were divorced. The first incident was before we.
Of course, the school bus incident came second. Naturally, the husband's done the wrong thing. The mum's like, my perfect angel would never do that. And then, like, next minute, she's like doing all this, like, well, it's still my grandson attitude. And then she's like shaking her head and saying, no, it's not true.
We were divorced. The second incident was in February of 2003.
And when was the school bus incident?
January 30th, 2003.
What was the second assault about?
He had came into where I worked, All About Kids, to do a visitation with my son. He came to
These
pick up
poor
Jeffrey,
kids.
and he slammed me into the door jamb of a wall, and tore my rotator cuff, took off with Jeffrey.
These kids shouldn't be in front of this kind of stuff. It's just like this poor little bugger. He's like, what, 3? And he's getting escorted out by Officer Boyd. Poor bugger.
The police came. they went and found Josh and
What
Jeffrey.
was the altercation
Hopefully he has like a stable grandmother, maybe.
about?
A coat. A coat.
Now I understand that you don't like each other. Don't like each other, I don't get involved in. You claim lost wages
How's my skin?
and punitive damages for defamation of character.
Correct.
You have 1 minute.
She called my boss.
You have 1 minute. I'm sorry.
I have documentation when she called, and they logged it over to my boss. There's no mention that she's my daughter-in-law, that that's my grandson,
Of course.
or my sons that I'm picking up. It says that unknown people and her son, he was on a visitation with him, and his father gave permission for him to ride the bus. So I have permission to give him a ride on my bus. But
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if there is a court order of visitation, the court order of visitation provides that the child is to be picked up and returned at a specific location.
Correct.
Not by you,
Not by me,
but by his father.
and his father was on my bus. Let me explain, okay?
No. I want you to tell me what the lawsuit is about.
Okay. I'm sorry. So, I go back, I talk to my boss, but my boss says, get an anti-harassment order because we don't want to deal with this problem. I did. I went before a judge.
All you had to do was stop taking your grandson off the road that you were supposed to be traveling with other children and not drop him off at the daycare.
Well, I hadn't had an opportunity not to do that.
Not to not.
Miss Neville.
I did what the
Miss
officer
Neville.
told me.
No.
and the judge.
That's, first of all, that's hearsay.
Excuse me.
All
I'm
you,
trying
listen
to
to me.
explain this. You're twisting this.
I'm not twisting anything.
You are. You're saying there was a DV assault, but they had got reconciled. They got together. They moved out. They left.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh yeah, there was the DV assault, but it's all good because like they reconciled, probably because it was a toxic relationship, and like that's like literally the amount of people that end up back in that toxic situation before they can officially get out, like doesn't mean that you are in the right for defending your domestic violent son. Like toxic. You see it all the time, like people being like, oh well, he's just going through a rough patch, and it's like notice people's toxic behavior. Don't just fucking be like, oh, all of a sudden it's all good and like da. Like obviously they broke up for a reason. It wasn't just because, oh well, I probably just didn't love him anymore. He probably just didn't stop doing his toxic behavior. Maybe, I don't know, maybe.
She got caught cheating, having an affair with a high school
Oh,
kid.
of course.
Listen to me carefully. All you had to do
Well, she
was
doesn't
to-
mention that to you.
Just
I
a
mean,
second.
come on.
All, I'm
I want
talking
to get
about you and your lawsuit,
Okay.
which I'm going to lose my temper over in a couple of seconds.
George is getting
Well, I had to deal with
upset.
for 5 years. How'd you...
You don't get 5 years worth, madam. What you're going to tell me is about lost wages
Correct.
and punitive damages for defamation of character and slander. Get there.
What it had to do with is the whole school year of 2000 and 2004.
She's been asking the same question. We're at 7.47 minutes in a 36-minute video, and I'm pretty sure like this is like 2 episodes, but like we're 7.5 minutes in, and she's done literally everything except say what the lawsuit is about. Like literally, we've been waiting this whole time to see what the lawsuit is about, and we're still not there.
She continued to make attacks on my person by making claims that my grandson's scared of me. She wrote the school this. She tried to get me removed from my school route by writing the school district.
Show me.
This is the statement, one letter that she wrote.
Okay, so after you stopped bringing him to the daycare, and there was no problem with that, she wrote this to the school.
Correct.
And you claim that this is harassment. I want to know what, this is a legal claim.
Yeah, she claimed she didn't want Jeffrey to speak to me or be near me, that he was scared of me.
Okay. She contacted the school to whom it may concern. You sent this to the elementary school? And Amelie says that she does not want, for whatever reason, which she outlines here, she doesn't want Debbie.
The district attorney said they could not press charges that time because he did not speak to us. Debbie follows us around. Me too, Jermaine. I love Officer Bird. Like, he's just like, oh, here we go. Like, you can just tell. Debbie follows us around Safeway, Target, in our car. Anytime she sees us, she makes very uncomfortable, I'm assuming the kid's name, very uncomfortable, which he has discussed with somebody on many occasions. I do not wish for my son to be traumatized, I'm sure that meant, at school. Therefore, I do not want Debbie Neville to contact him while he is there. Totally fair, totally valid. Like, what do you mean? Oh, shit. Okay. So, they couldn't press charges on the district attorney because the father would not speak to them. So then she's kind of said, like, hey, stepmom, my kid's scared of his dad, and therefore is scared of you because you obviously, like, bring his energy around and you're, like, following us around. So, like, he's kind of freaked out by you because you're, like, creepy. And she's like, this is harassment. It's like, no, it's just kind of like being, you know, worried about your son's mental health because he's worried that his grandma's gonna, like, pop up out of nowhere. Nasty. Play.
Neville to contact him while he's at school.
Your Honor, the reason why is because there was an incident with Debbie and my son Jeffrey at the school. I have a letter.
I love that her name's Debbie as well. What a name. It's like the Karen of the psycho world.
From his principal in regards to that, as well as a letter from my son's therapist that he's been seeing since kindergarten.
The kid is seeing a therapist. If that's not enough to kind of be like, okay, look, the kid needs some help. The kid's scared. Leave the kid alone. He can, like, come through his own traumas and possibly, like, get to know you later, but now is not the time, Nan.
Regarding the incident.
On September 23, 2003, second grader kid named Neville shared that he didn't like it when his paternal grandmother called out to him while he was go home on September 22nd. He tried to ignore her, but she yelled out, hey, kid, it's your grandmother. In addition, she made it like she was going to come after me, but I hurried and something. Let's see if we can get the rest of this. I asked him how he felt. He replied, I was sort of scared, and I asked him what he wanted me to do, and he said, I don't want her to bother me or talk to me. I told something about with his grandmother, but the bus driver.
Therapist in September of 2003, and I don't want to go back there, says it's best for him not to have contact with you. Okay. Get to 2005. I want to hear how you have a lawsuit against Miss Hugo.
Get to 2005!
For lost wages and defamation of character.
Okay.
This is not a therapy session,
I know.
Miss Neville.
I know.
This is a lawsuit. So get there.
So several times during, I had that anti-harassment order. I had to call the police and report.
So once again, we're at now 9 minutes and 27 seconds, and we're still not at the place that the original question of how do we get to the lawsuit happened. Oh, I love like how people, like, Judge Judy has not just, like, entered the block. She is not stupid. Like, I love how these people are like, well, maybe if I just talk around in circles for like 75 minutes, she'll be like, okay, here's $5,000.
Or incidences with her, and I have copies of a few of those.
Not interested.
And so the following...
I'm not interested. I'm interested in defamation and lost wages. And if you can't get there, I'm going to dismiss your case.
I had to select a different route the following year to prevent her from further tormenting me.
Okay, good. That's not a lawsuit. What else?
I lost wages because of that, because I didn't take that route because she kept calling the school district.
That's the way things go.
Here's a letter from his bus driver.
I'm not interested in a letter from his bus driver. I don't see a lawsuit,
If
Miss
you don't let
Neville.
me enter my evidence, how am I supposed to prevent a case?
I want you to tell me.
You just read documents that were not notarized, that I don't...
They're from school officials and a therapist.
The school official got fired because of what she did. Wrote that letter. She was not allowed to write that
Listen to
letter.
me. I'm not interested in anything that happened in 2003. This is not a therapy session. It's a court.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Judge Judy continues in a
You're
moment.
going to have to move. Otherwise, there's going to be
Skip
constant.
forward.
It's not all
No, can't
that
skip
easy.
forward.
Just
Cool.
pick up and move.
It's not all that easy. Have the last 4 years been easy? No.
No. Oh, that noise. Real people. Judge Judy.
Debbie Neville claims ex-daughter-in-law Sarah Hubel has slandered her at her job. Sarah is countersuing for harassment.
I'm going to hear your counterclaim. 30 seconds. Get there.
Yes, ma'am. Well,
my favorite thing that Judge Judy does when a person, these people haven't done it really, but like when a person goes, okay, well, basically, she's like, no, not basically. She's just the best.
As of this year, a couple weeks ago,
You've got 30 seconds. You might want to speak a little quicker, babe.
just had taken me to court again, trying to get an anti-harassment order for me. It was denied. This was the second order that she had tried to get against me that was denied. I'm continually having to go into court because of her allegations.
Where do you live?
I live in Seattle.
But she
And
moved
where's
right
your
next door to me. Why she had the restraining order? She moved right up the street from me, right on top of my bus route, just so she could watch me come and go.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
does your former husband live?
He also lives in Seattle.
Oh, shocker.
How far away from you?
Well, actually, they just moved. Maybe about a mile from where I live.
Seattle's a big place. Why don't you move farther away from them?
I don't move farther away from them because my son goes to school there. He has gone to school there since kindergarten. I work right across the street from my son's school. I live right down the road.
Who else
That's
lives with you
where
now,
it's
Miss
been.
Hubel?
Christopher Crippen,
Who is he?
my boyfriend.
Does he work?
Yes.
What a name. Christopher Crippen. Sounds like he could be like a little leprechaun style man. Like, my name is Christopher Crippen. I don't know. Is that, like, the guy doesn't look like that, but I'm imagining like this like actual leprechaun named Christopher Crippen. I'm feeling it.
How long was the custody battle that you had with your former husband?
2.5 years.
Did he want custody?
No,
So he wanted visitation.
just visitation.
Does he have visitation now?
Not any longer.
When was that terminated?
In March of 2003, right after the assault, I went to the court to get a protection order for my son to ask for supervised visitation. And Josh denied in open court that he wanted to have any visitation with Jeffrey if it had to be
Supervised.
supervised.
So
Yeah.
are you telling me that he hasn't seen his son since March of 2003?
Correct.
Is he living with you?
Yes.
Very sad family case.
Yes, it is.
But one thing you seem to be both accomplishing is you're both accomplishing making this little boy crazy.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying before. Like, this little kid does not need this. And, like, the fact... it's just sad. Like, obviously... So, old mate hasn't got visitation, right? And then the nana, or the grandma or whatever, she's all like, I'm gonna expect... Yeah, it's just... I don't know. Sorry, I just got... stuck by Alex's comment. What's she looking for in those papers? I'm assuming some kind of evidence that just doesn't exist. Like, it's just so lame. Oh,
You gotta get
it's
over
so
it, both of
sad.
you.
I've never
You don't have a lawsuit. This case is this.
So many childhood traumas come from pathetic mothers and grandmothers and parents and da-da-da like this. Like, this poor bugger, he just has no chance. If they don't, like... I spoke to my friend recently and they were talking about like accountability and like if you put yourself in a situation where like if you are the child or are you the child or are you the adult, and if you're the adult in the situation, you should not be the one not taking accountability for the situation. And both of these people are like, I just want it to be over, but they're not thinking about the fact that they're the adult and they need children to be looked after. Like, the kid isn't going to look after himself, right? I don't know. I'm ranting, sorry.
This is not a lawsuit. This is aggravation.
It is aggravation.
It is aggravation.
It is.
You're causing each other aggravation. You have to stop.
Correct.
Absolutely.
But she won't stop.
Oh!
I have the feeling, Miss Neville,
Far out, you're joking.
and I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that if you had nothing to do with her, nothing to do with her,
You know
your
what?
problems would be over. I can understand why you're angry.
Dr. King is here.
I can
Dr.
understand
King is in
this.
session.
I can understand why you're angry. You have a
Yeah.
son who's ill, who according to you has cancer, takes medication.
No, it's not according
who's
to me.
been
I
in
have
jail.
doctor's
I'm
reports right
speaking.
here.
You're not
But
following.
you're making
Yeah,
statements.
you are over here. You're not.
She's like this close to getting kicked. I can feel it. How's this still? I've just done a Judge Judy as well. I'm sorry, Judy. I did you wrong. I'm sorry.
Getting
babe.
it.
It's not according to me. Here's some doctor.
I agree with you. I accept the fact that he's ill.
And I don't call her job. I don't follow her around. I don't do that.
I have a
statements-
feeling, Miss Neville,
I have
that
statements
Miss
from-
Hubel would like.
My witness can testify to her.
We're so close to a
following me
kick
into the
out.
store, standing outside, waiting for me to come out of the store, and chasing me out of the parking lot.
Who's this other woman? Where does she come from? Has she been in this entire episode? Like, they just shoot to this random woman going, I'm sorry, what?
I was pushing a grocery cart into my leg.
You shouldn't have anything to do with each other. You shouldn't
I
be near
try
each
not
other.
to.
Honor, I thought it was supposed to be my turn to be giving my statements.
What I'm trying to do is to tell you, neither one of you has a lawsuit. You have created aggravation
Dismissed.
for each other.
What have I done to her? Excuse me, tell me. Do you have our documentations of what have I called your job? Have I gone to your place of work? I avoid your place of work. My friends avoid you. The whole community avoids you because they're scared.
This lady in the back's killing me. What is she doing? Like, I'm assuming she's like the witness or whatever, or like the support person. But they've done nothing with her for 15 minutes. And like, even friggin', oh, what was the bloody leprechaun name? Whatever. Like, he was there for 2.5 seconds, but now like they're obviously getting to the end where this chick hasn't got her airtime and they're just like moving the camera over to her and she's just like, like, why? Why would you even bring her up?
Of you.
Oh,
They're
classic.
scared if you get done tired of being mad at me that they're going to stop them. I have witnesses that would not come because they're scared of her.
Well, it's
I
one-
lost
one-
business in my
one-
art because of her.
Oh yeah.
One way or another, if you want to live in peace, you're going to have to relocate.
Yes.
That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to move out of Seattle. And if you don't do it, then you're just prolonging this bad feeling because she has a grown son who has an illness. That makes her feel bad as a mother. She has a grown son who probably says to her that he's sad because he can't see his son. That makes her feel protective. Do you understand? There's a story which is the underpinning of this
Actually, my son.
this loss.
Why is she in Seattle if she has a protective order against the dad anyway? Like, wouldn't you want to get away from them completely? Like, oh, he's got to move schools. He's like 3 years old. Who cares?
You're going to have to move. And the faster you do it, the faster you're going to be able to enjoy your life. You get it?
Yes.
Otherwise, there's going to be constant.
It's not all that easy just to pick up and move.
It's
We love a cut to head nodding. Like, it's either head shaking or head nodding depending on the situation. But like when somebody finally like wins the case or whatever, and it's just like, that's right.
not all that easy. Have the last 4 years been easy?
No.
Your son's 9 years old. It's not as if he's a junior in high school that he has to reacquaint with friends when he's a junior. He's going to graduate. He's 9 years old. He'll adjust
Is he
to a
9?
new school.
That kid looks
You want
3.
peace? Move. Lawsuit's dismissed. Thank you. That's all.
Amazing.
Excuse me, step out, man.
When they were married, she had an affair with a high school
Oh,
boy.
grow up.
Obviously, she harasses me constantly. I'm constantly in court.
She got caught by her son having sex with a high school boy, and they threatened us with a shotgun, and they took off.
Constantly, police are coming over. Constant everything.
They said if
Did I miss that? Like, did she say that the high schooler threatened them because they were having an affair? I don't know. Whatever. Move on.
we did anything, that he'd take care of us. And the schools knew about it, his parents knew about it, so they both took off and left.
They're already out of the picture. They keep on trying to bring themselves back in.
She's stalked.
The
Yes,
post-court
I'm aware.
interviews are my favorite. Okay, we're going to take a break from JJ, Judge Jude, so we can debrief. Okay, I loved everything about that episode. I need to close the door also, but the post interviews are the best because it's like, so in the interviews side by side they try to get close to the whole, like, for example, in the very beginning of this episode, if anyone missed it, like, the grandma is like she's like, oh well, she had an affair with a high schooler and that's where this all began. It's like, no, your son was beating his wife or girlfriend or whatever she is up, and you're like, it was not his fault, she was the one who cheated 3 years later with a school student, which is totally like, they didn't really, unnecessary, didn't have anything to back it up, and Judge Judy was just not having a bar of it. But then she like smashes it in the last interview as well. Like, it's just like, oh, far out. I love it. I live. Judge Jude's. This is an episode from like 2002. This is a bit of an older episode. I was a bit worried about the copyright situation, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, for anyone who wasn't here the whole time. But yeah, I think seems to be going all right for now, so we'll just keep going. Are we down for another episode? Are we feeling this era of Judge Judy? I feel like at the moment, Judge Judy's hair, like, this is the Judge Judy hair that I remember, like this little situation, like the I'd like to speak to the manager situation, whereas now she's got like a little ponytail situation going on, which is very interesting, but you know, gotta switch it up eventually, like you're in your bloody 70s. We down for round 2? Bring it on from JJ, Judge Judes. All right, let's do it.
She looks like she can take care of herself. If she can't, you can't help her because you weren't there. Okay. Ms. Bassey, according to your complaint, you and the defendant got into sort of an altercation. You were going to pick up
My little sister.
your sister in school, and you were going to pick up
My son.
your son. And as a result of that, it is your claim that the defendant damaged your car. The defendant says
We love a
that
good car
your
episode.
poor driving was...
You can already see the easel with the cars in the background where they're gonna be like,
Okay, so I was coming out of this section and I pressed this thing and then this person like came around here and I was so erratic and I was so scared.
the result of the damage
I'm
to
calling
your
it
car,
now.
and you actually ran into her car. That's your defense.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pull that a little bit closer to me so that I can see it a little bit better up here, Bert.
the
Miss
easel.
Bassey, you're the red car.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go over and put your finger over there, please. That's where you were coming from, and you were making a left turn into the parking lot?
Yes, ma'am.
And the defendant was coming straight.
She was coming straight, and she didn't have a signal on. She was like right here where the curb is, where the driveway ends, and then she decides all of a sudden I need to turn. And so when she turns, she comes.
Don't.
I kind of don't love the car episodes because it's kind of like, well, everyone's a jerk on the road, but also I just love the JJ commentary, so we'll just keep going with this car episode, I think.
Don't speak.
She comes and she turns so close to the curb, and I'm about to turn thinking she's about to pass by, so I stop to prevent from hitting her because it's a very congested area. And she turns in, and then I turn in after her.
Well, so far you understand she had the right of way.
Yes, ma'am.
You did not. Okay, and what happened next?
I honked at her.
Why?
Well, because she didn't. I honked at her because she didn't use her signal.
Well, that's not a nice thing to do, Miss Bassey. That's not an appropriate thing to do. She had the right of way. So right there, you were wrong. You had no right to honk at her because she had the right of way. Whether you think she had a signal on or not.
Check this chick's eyes out. I paused at the wrong
She
time.
says she did. It
Like,
doesn't make any difference. In a congested
Whatever.
road, and you're going...
I was gonna say Old Love's got a bit of a crazy eye situation going on. Like, not crazy eyes as in like she looks crazy, but she's got that Karen look. Like, you know, in those Karen compilations where the women are like, no, you listen to me. She kind of has that going on. I love it. She's
Two
totally a
lanes of
Karen. I
traffic
can
coming
feel
from
it.
the opposite direction, and she is on the side of the road where she can make a right turn into that spot. She's got the right of way, so that's
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Jim, that's
So what
so
happened
crazy.
after you honked the horn?
So
We
good.
pull up into the driveway area. We're right here where you pick up all the kids. And I honked twice to get my little sister's attention. When I honked twice, she thought I was honking at her.
Again.
Yes, she thought I was honking at her again.
Well, now let me ask you this question. How many kids are outside?
A lot.
What do you think it would be like, Miss Bassey, if
10 million.
everybody honked their horn a couple of times to get their little sister's attention?
Well, yeah,
Is there something wrong with your legs?
Well, no, she wasn't that.
Just listen. Was there something wrong with your legs?
There was nothing wrong with my legs.
Then if there's nothing wrong with your legs, you stop the car and you get out of the car.
This is like if an Australian was doing this show, it'd be like, mate, are yours painted on or something? Are your legs painted on, love?
And you say to your little sister, here I am. You don't sit in your car and honk the horn. We're going to go step by step. I haven't gotten to her yet because I have a feeling you didn't behave reasonably either because I read your answer.
No, ma'am.
And it's amazing to me that two women, usually it's the guys that get into these jock wars, but two women behaving badly? How old are you?
17.
Well, you better go back to driving school and etiquette school because so far you're not number one on my hit parade today.
Oh, another brilliant Judge Judy quote when she says, what is it? Beauty fades and brains last forever.
So you honked your horn for your sister and the defendant thought you were again honking at her. That's what you assumed. So what did she do?
She flips me off and starts waving her fist behind me. She turns around and she just starts doing the little hand thing, like yelling.
What is this? Look at this. Oh, look at this freeze frame. I'm just doing JJ wrong here. Like, oh, I got a screenshot of that one. That's brilliant. Oh, that's so funny. That's going to be the thumbnail for this. After I keep I'm sorry. Oh no, what have I done? Oh no. Oh, there we go.
Not a nice thing. Just a second. Not a nice thing to do.
Right.
Okay. So she
Sorry, it's my first stream and I'm technical difficultying some stuff. So if I freak out and don't know what I've done, I've broken something. Yeah.
gestures to you in an obscene gesture. What happens next?
I looked at her and I threw my hands up.
I know, Jacob, you can just imagine in real life it just being like a... And they're like, I was so
she's still
scared.
yelling, and I was yelling back at her. I'm like, look, I'm not
So
trying
now
to
you're yelling at each other.
Yes.
Shocker.
Go ahead.
And then after that, my little sister does see me, and she comes to the side of the car. And
Are you guys road ragers or are you just like, you know, normal people that don't freak out? Like, I literally am the epitome of road rage. I drive 45 minutes to work every morning and, oh man, I just lose it. I literally, if the light doesn't take 3.5 seconds to change, I'm pissed. So like the second someone cuts me off, oh my God. Like if people are in the car with me, they're just like...
Cindy is still very angry that I had honked at her, and we were still arguing with each other. And so at this time, I was.
This chick, the other woman, the defendant, is definitely like that person that just like overly like hangs off the couch or laughs, like not the couch, the bench, and laughs like when they're trying to like make that is so not true, and then like talking under their breath and stuff and giving the crazy eyes and shaking their heads. Like, oh, I love her.
Trying to move. I have my little sister in the car. I wanted to get out of there. It's very busy. She doesn't move.
Well, where's
Dramatic.
your car?
Right here.
So you're behind her.
So she pulls up a little bit. We pull up, and then she's still mad. And I honked at her again. I'm like, can you please move?
All right. So why are you hunking?
She wouldn't move.
Why does she have to move?
She could have moved, but
Why,
she was.
now, why does she have to move?
Why does
her
she
son had
have
already
to?
gotten to the car.
Look, I'm looking at your car, and I'm seeing what you did. So you pulled out, according to you, you pulled out because she's not moving, and you pulled around her.
Yes, after she did it, but no, I got out the car. I even got out the car and said, will you please move? And she's still cussing me out.
Can I ask you a question? Why?
We've got the taps,
Bassey.
we've got the hand raise.
Stop it. Listen. Why are you still arguing with her
Tatum.
and imploring her to move when all you had to do was drive around her?
At the time,
I know, right, Alex? A little honk it's just letting you know you're there, mate. It's not nothing crazy.
there was still cars going. There's a lot of
Hi
cars
there,
still going.
Shreyan-
And then when she was
Shreyan Gosh.
she wouldn't move. I was behind her.
Hope I said that
to
right.
A place where I couldn't
Welcome
really
to the
squeeze
stream. It's my first
around
live stream.
her
I hope
this
you
way, or
enjoy.
Squeeze around her this way, but I managed.
Nice little reminder for anyone who isn't subscribed. If you want to subscribe, hit the bell, hit the button, buzzwords, love it. Hope you're enjoying the JJ sesh.
Plus, everybody's picking up their children.
Yes.
Keep going.
Then I did manage to, because my car is small enough, so I'm like, okay, maybe I can squeeze around her. I was able to squeeze around her, and I drove all the way to over here to the drive area. Then she comes all the way, she drives over here, rolls down her window, and said, is this the way black people act? And I'm like, what was that stuff? I looked at her kids in the car. And
Look at those
they appeared
eyes.
to be biracial.
She is.
And then I looked at her
oh,
again,
nasty.
I'm like, what was that supposed to mean?
Okay.
And at this time, yes, I mean, we were cussing each other out. She then says, do you want to fight? And I'm like, do I want to what? And my little sister gets out of the car.
What'd she get out of the car for?
She got out there, she's like, do you want to fight? And my little sister,
The kids just get set on each other, like the women just like, oh, you want to fight? How about our kids fight instead?
what do you want to fight? She got us, she's like, what do you want to fight for?
Where's the little sister? Step up here. Move over there.
Ooh.
What did you get out of the car for?
Because at that time, Mrs. Hood had opened her
Laqueezy.
door like she was going to get out. So I'm like,
Sounds like a perfect reason for you
Laqueeze? Is that the name? Laqueeze?
to stay in your car. Somebody, according
Absolutely. If I was getting if anyone was doing something out the front of my car, the last thing I'm going to do is get out and be like, let's fight. Like, I'd be like, please lock the doors.
to you and according to your sister is acting like a lunatic and says, do you want to fight? Doesn't sound like the kind of situation you want to say, sure. Now, what's your first name?
Laqueeze.
Laqueeze.
Genius. What did you do when you got out of the car?
Laqueeze.
I got out of the
Genius.
car because, by that time I was really mad. And so I guess I wasn't thinking. I got out the car and then, I kind of went over to her car and then
So you kind of went over to her
Yeah,
car.
by
What does
that
that mean? That means you went over to
I
her
walked
car?
over
or
to
you
her
didn't go
car.
over to her? What?
I walked over to her car.
And what did you say when you walked over to her
And
car?
I really didn't say anything. I was waiting on her. She said she was going to get out and fight. And I'm like, is
And
she
that's what you
serious?
were waiting to do. You got out of the car to fight her.
I mean, I was
The
going to see if
genius.
she was
Miss Bassey back there, you
I can't wait to hear from the defendant. She just seems like she is going to just go nuts.
should be very proud of them so far. Are you following me?
I am.
Right?
Shreyan, you've never seen Judge Judy. Oh, girl, you are missing out. Judge Judy is life. You are welcome. I hope that you're enjoying, because there is much more where this came from, hopefully. And Judge Judy, oh man, she is a sassy queen.
So far, I'm looking at your mother and I'm looking
Welcome
at you
to the
two,
Church
and
of
I got this
JJ.
feeling, I don't think that your mother would have reacted the same way that day that you did. Right, Miss Bassey?
Yes.
Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When people behave badly and they have no defense for their bad behavior, they infuse racism to try to inflame the fact finder. Listen to me. It doesn't work.
Ooh, shit. Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
17-year-old Brycey Bassey says, during an argument at a junior high school, fellow motorist Tatum Hood rammed her car. Tatum claims Brycey and her sister threatened her life.
Okay, so after you got out of the car and walked over to Miss Hood's car because she said she wanted to fight, I assume at some point you got back into the car.
I walked over back to my sister's car, because, she was about to turn right by then. But then Mrs. Hood hits my sister's car, and I was shocked. I had no time to get back in the car, because that's when she turned.
Well, just a minute. Your sister is making a turn from the wrong lane.
No, this is to go right. I went left after she had hit my car. I was not even moving when she hit my car. She hit my car on purpose.
You mean she plowed into your car, you were standing still?
Yes, my car was not in motion.
Okay. And you have photographs of this car?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it.
Imagine if you just were like, oh yeah, this happened. Oh, you have photographs of this car? No, I don't. Like, okay. Of course she does. Sorry, my nose is running.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. All right, Miss Hood, balls in your
Damn.
court.
It was January 19th, 2005. May I go over here? I went.
Well, obviously you're gonna go over there. Like, no, you're just gonna point from across the side. I know sometimes they don't have pictures, Jacob, but like, they usually don't win if they don't. Like, it just seems like you're coming to a courthouse with, like, I don't know, people are dumb.
Went to the school to pick
That's the moral of this story. People are dumb.
up my son that's here.
Shreyan, I got this off another YouTube channel, which I have linked in the description box below.
I'm the blue car here. I'm coming down Tyler Road. I believe it would be south. She's coming north. She is right here. As she said, it's very congested. There's lots of cars. If she would have been like on her chart over here.
Also, you can search Judge Judy full episodes, and she will totes hook you up. I don't know like the legalities of the uploads because I don't think they last very long, but you can definitely find playlists where people have got them up. So that's what I did.
Already turning. There was tons of cars coming. I did have my blinker on.
Listen to me. She was wrong. I already said she was wrong.
Okay. So we turn in. When we turn in at Wilbur, there's also there's like two lanes like this. I stayed in this lane. We never got over here because to get over here, you have to stop up against the school and there's buses and handicap parking. I stayed in this lane. As I was turning, she started calling me all out of my name. She called me a white bee. Go back to driver's ed, learn how to drive. I'm gonna kick your butt. As we stopped, I stopped here. She was behind me. She honked. I thought she was honking at me. Stupidly, I flipped her off. I never shook my fist at her, nothing else. She got out of her car at that point in time, come up, beating on my window, was screaming, I'm gonna kick your butt, but she was not saying butt. Get out of your truck, you white bee this, white bee that. I rolled down my window. I said, you gotta go get back in your car before you embarrass yourself. She went.
Reminder, this is a 17-year-old girl. Like, I don't know.
Back.
I know 17-year-olds can be a little bit violent, but like literally giving the finger in a car, I'm pretty sure they're not going to like stop traffic and start a bloody domestic violence fight. Domestic violence, that was the wrong word. What's the word? Whatever.
To her car, we both proceeded to go. She spun around me. She's still screaming. I'm saying some stuff. We get like we're right here. And she is calling me all out of my name, still profanity, racial slurs. I am married to a black man. I'm not racist. I rolled down my window. I said, you are giving young.
Oh, I can say the N-word because my husband's black. I'm not racist. My husband's black. Thanks, babe.
Black women.
So woke.
A bad name. You should not act like that. I would never allow my daughter to act like that or my son. She's like still using profanity, still cussing, and she's like, pull over her. By this time, the other sister was screaming at me too. Pull over, we're gonna whip your butt, blah, blah, blah. She starts to go, I take off, bam, I hit her. She's barely like this. They're gonna pull over, they're trying to cut me off. Two fights. She never got out of the car. I hit her. When I hit her, we stopped. I probably stopped for 30 seconds. I'm not gonna lie. Both of them at that time got out of the car. She was never out of the car till after I hit her. And then they were screaming, we're gonna kill you, you stupid white bee, blah, 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 calling me racial. I can't believe it has turned into a racial thing.
Calling her racial.
It's so sickening. And then
No, it's not.
pitiful.
Listen to me, Miss Hood. It's not racial here. It's not racial in this courtroom.
You're right.
Sometimes when people behave badly and they have no defense for their bad behavior, they infuse racism to try to inflame the fact finder. Listen to me. It doesn't work. Go ahead.
Afterwards, I leave because I don't know what they're gonna do. Brycey then jumps back in the car with the younger sister that she picked up who's in the back seat, chasing us. I'm stopping at stop signs, stopping at stoplights. Each time we stop, she's getting out of the car, trying to come up to the window, still screaming. When we see 2 cop cars coming, I pull into a parking lot. She pulls in. When she pulls in, she stops. She gets out of her car. I'm gonna mollywop you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm
May
gonna
I
beat you
please
up.
see the...
What is a mollywop? Let's look it up. What is a mollywop? Mollywop. Wiktionary? Oh, there you go. To be hit with an open hand or closed fist extremely hard. The person hitting you has to follow through and come down with it so you feel the true force. To swing one's arm back that it almost rips out of its socket, and then to completely knock the fuck out of someone in the face in a cheetah speed moving fist. Damn. Okay. Damn. Chill.
The police report.
Yes, ma'am.
And then
I want to see the police report.
the cops that pull up are telling her to get back in her car. She don't.
I
They
just-
restrain
shh.
her. I'm sorry.
I want to read the police report. You told the police you got out of the car.
My sister got out of the car.
Brycey, you signed a statement. You said, before that, I got out of the car and asked what the problem. And one continued to yell at me.
That's
When
okay,
I got out of
Sharon.
the car, that's
We forgive
way
you.
before, whenever we were still at in the school area.
You didn't tell me that you got out of the car.
I did. I said I got out of the car and asked her to move.
No, you told the police you got out of the car and asked her what her problem
Yeah, I
was.
asked her what the problem is. Can you please move? I was not honking at you.
Did you do the wrong thing that day?
Yes, I did.
How much of this accident was your fault?
I would probably say
Most
I don't
of
know.
it.
I'm not going to say that was the least of my fault. No, it was not. I shouldn't have honked at her. You know, that's one thing. I shouldn't have honked at her. And then when I honked twice, I probably should have yelled for my sister. Or you know. Then after I got out the car, you know, instead I should have probably just sat there and waited for her to move.
Yes, you want to say something?
For what it's
Mama.
worth, I just want to say that I did speak with Mrs. Hood regarding this accident 2 days later. I went over to Mrs. Hood's home because I got the police report. I didn't have insurance. I was going to file the insurance. I needed to know where she lived. The police did give us her address. And I went. She was very polite. I didn't have a problem with her. Mrs. Hood told me she was having a bad day that day. She said she was in an argument with her husband's nieces. And, you know, she was upset and she was already tensed up and upset. And she did tell me she intentionally hit my daughter's car. She never denied hitting her car, but she also proceeded.
Just a second. Are you telling me, Miss Bassey, that Miss Hood said I intentionally hit her car?
Yes, she did. Those were her exact words to me. Yes.
Interesting. Is that what you said to her?
I said I hit her daughter's car. I never intentionally hit it. She was coming this way to cut me off. I did hit Brycey's car. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't
No,
hit
no,
it.
I know you did. I have the pictures to prove that you did. I'm just surprised that Miss Bassey is telling me that you used the word intentionally. I mean, I can't imagine anybody intentionally hitting somebody else's car.
Shreyan, as I said, the fact that like you are new to Judge Judy, your world is just going to be totally lit up. Like she takes no shit from no one. I live for it.
That's what she told my daughter and myself. And she also told me she left the scene of the accident. I don't agree with Brycey chasing her. She said she left the scene of the accident not because she was afraid of my daughter.
Not just chasing her, Miss Bassey.
She left because she said she was unlawfully driving her truck.
Listen to me. I got it. I don't believe this story. I believe that what your daughter did was pull out, speed around her, And I believe that when she pulled out and sped around her, Miss Hood caught up with her.
No, I don't believe that, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Because Brycey wasn't moving when she hit her.
No. Listen to me. I said Miss Hood caught up with her. She pulled around her fast in a school pickup zone. That's what your daughter did. She had an attention span and a fuse that was about this short. And she created a situation there because she's got a hot temper and she wasn't behaving like a mature driver. Neither was this one. But she's not the plaintiff. She is. So you had, according to your complaint, $4,000 worth of damage to your car.
Damn.
With no insurance.
No.
And all I'm asking...
She had insurance.
Insurance.
Yes, we had insurance.
Oh, good. So how much did the insurance pay?
We didn't want to file the
No.
insurance.
Well, you better.
Well, insurance does not take care of damages that have intentionally been done
That's
to
what
the
they
car.
said.
Well, listen to me very carefully. I would file with my insurance
Low-key kind of sounds like they just don't want their... I don't know how it works in America, but like in Australia, if you have a ding with a car, like if you have to claim your insurance, it just makes... you've got to pay the insurance like premium, the claim price, excess, Jesus. You got to pay the excess, but then also your premiums go up every month or year, however, depending on how you pay it. So it's kind of like, well, if you can kind of just get away with it not claiming it, then it's better for you.
carrier if I were you. Ordinarily, if this was solely her fault, I would say, well, why should you file with your insurance? Because that means your premiums are going to go up.
Yes,
Oh,
which they
there you
would've.
go.
You're
Convenient.
absolutely right. They would have, because she's a 17-year-old driver who was involved in an accident.
Oh yeah, and she's under 25. Like, once again, don't know how it goes in America, but if you're under 25 and you have an accident, your premiums are like whoosh.
But this accident was partially her fault. So I think you ought to file with your insurance company. Now, what kind of deductible do you have?
$500.
Good, Miss Hood's going to
not
pay
bad.
that. But you file with your insurance company. This accident was partially your fault, and that's what you have insurance for.
Even though Mrs. Hood agreed to fix her car, she agreed to fix it.
Listen to me. Then you don't come to court, Miss Bassey. Then you don't come to court. But if you come here and you're asking a fact finder to make a determination of what the right thing to do is, in this case, the right thing to do is because your daughter was at least 50% responsible for what went on that day because she did the wrong thing. She may have caught her on a bad day. That's the way sometimes you catch people. What? She was not in a hurry to go to a summit meeting. So she waits her turn, and she takes an extra couple of minutes, and her sister doesn't get out of the car in an aggressive stance. She's not picking up her baby sister, who's 3 years old. Your other daughter looks like she can well take care of herself, and she's got an attitude. So that's what you have insurance for. Miss Hood has to accept some
JJ
responsibility
coming
for what
through
she
with
did,
the facts.
and she's going to cover your deductible. Put it into your insurance. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all.
Well,
Here we
my
go.
car being hit, that's what set me off.
She was saying she was going to pull over. It was confrontational.
She said she did it on purpose. She was having a bad day.
Being stupid, I flipped her off. I didn't think it was going to go past that.
That day,
Why would you on purposely hit someone though? Like, surely, I know people have the intention in their brain, like something kind of snaps and they just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna drive into a car. But like, surely you could have that moment of like in your head, like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna have to either pay for this car or pay for my own car. Like, I don't know, like, you know, when people get really angry and they punch walls and then they break their fist, it's like, cool, now you just gotta deal with that for like 6 months while it heals. It's like this, no.
she just was saying some really crazy stuff.
I had my kids in the car. I was scared.
Crazy
And
stuff
she
with
did
their
it on
crazy
purpose, so
eyes.
that was pretty stupid of her.
I'm glad no one ended up hurt.
I was completely wrong. I wish I could go back and redo that day, but now I'm still gonna be without a car.
Oh, Jesus.
No time for hay fever.
Sorry, we got ads. I'm not a YouTube red kind of girl. I think this is the end though, but we'll see. But yeah, that was a good episode. I'm glad I didn't miss it for the sake of you know, I was all like, car episodes are shit, but that was actually pretty good, especially with Hold Love in her moment. She was a lot. Oh yeah, Australian girl. I live in Brisbane. Aldi is good different. Yeah, this is the end. You can tell by that face. Oh, that was good. That was a good little time. Yeah, Australian, Brizzy, Queensland, Queen. I think everyone in the chat at the moment is from, most likely, Brisbane / Australia. I don't know how to get back out of this. You have to go out and then back in to interact with said video. Well, this could just be the end. Interact with the video. Whoop, there we go. There we go. Yeah, there's 3 minutes of JJ's face. Oh, Melbourne person. How cool. How good. Well, I don't know if do we want another episode? I mean, it's been an hour. I don't know how long people normally stream for. Is an hour a reasonable time? Are we feeling more? Do we want more? Or we feeling like we've had a nice little moment together and we can move on? I don't know. What do you guys want? I've only got four people viewing, so 2 people. One more. All right. Let's try and find one that isn't shit, shall we? I'm gonna, if I find a good one, I will put it in the chat so that you guys have a reference. Amazing episode. Melbourne would be getting pretty cold at the moment, wouldn't it? I mean, we're starting to cool down, but I know Melbourne's is a little bit colder. Why don't we do a little funniest moments montage just for the end. This is a 5-minute Judge Judy best moments. Let's do that. That sounds like it'll be fun to end this little stream on. A little 5-minute best moments chat. But what do we think, guys? Do we like the JJ hangouts? Yeah, I'm so jealous. I love cold weather, so like it's definitely cooling down here, but I bet you it's so much nicer in Melbourne. Can you hear me when I whisper? Melbourne. Oh, how do I change it again? Interact. There we go. There we go. I am such a professional streamer, like perhaps the best, most professional person I know at streaming. But, you know, could be biased. All right, I found a best moments. Hopefully it's good. Might have to chuck an ad on because I'm not very... Yeah.
For the toilet?
A perfume for the toilet? What do you mean? Breath? Oh, got a Neutrogena one as well. All right.
One payment of $100, and you sold the horse to her for $1,500, which means she owes you $1,400.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good. Judgment's on the counterclaim for $1,400. We're done. Thank you.
I'll be going to you when they step out.
Okay.
Thank you, Shreyan.
That she...
I'll be doing live streams every Wednesday. We're going to be doing stuff like Judge Judy. I want to do my 600-pound life. Maybe Catfish. Maybe like even those UK shows like the Hot or Not kind of shows, but yeah, just like trashy TV that's like real fun and we can chat. So if you want to hang this time every Wednesday, 6:30 Brizzy time, through till 7:30, or if we're having a good old laugh, I might even take it through to 8 or something, but yeah, come join. Hope to see you there.
Only leased the horse and she didn't want to oh my gosh, keep him or pay for it or anything that the contract said. Because she didn't get away with a lie. Sorry, whatever. I have more to say.
Judge Judy.
Oh, please. Let's love it. You look ridiculous. Got it? You ready?
I'm ready.
You think he's ready?
He's not ready.
You know who I am, right? That's my name.
How are you, ma'am? How you doing?
Don't ask me how I'm doing. Where's the money?
The money,
I do not owe her anything.
Oh, please.
Oh,
She ran out of my
please.
house and slammed the door, breaking the window. I was extremely upset, so I grabbed a rock and tossed it gently at her car.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like 10 million people to hear that you've done something stupid. That's my joy in life. You know what my father used to say?
You want me to grab one out of the airport?
He used to say to me, don't pee on my leg
And tell me it's raining.
Don't try to teach a pig to sing. It doesn't work and it annoys the pig. Dumb ideas come from people who have dumb brains.
No doubt.
Did you ever hear the expression, beauty fades, dumb is
Dumb is
forever?
forever.
Either you're playing dumb or it's not an act. You see, they don't keep me here because I'm gorgeous and 5'10". Sit down. I am a truth machine, sir. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Don't be a liar. I eat them up for breakfast. You lie to me, I'll wipe up the floor with you worse than anybody else who's ever tackled you. You better tell me the truth because I'm much smarter than you are. I love the truth.
Yes, sir.
If you don't tell me the truth, you're gonna be eating your shoes.
The truth?
No, I'm here asking you to lie. These stories are crock of baloney. Excuse
I love baloney.
me, on your best day, you're not as smart as I am on my worst day when I'm sleeping. Yes, I have stupid right here. You think you're smarter than I am?
Huh?
That's not a hard question.
No.
Duh. You think this is gonna be easy?
No, ma'am.
It's not gonna be easy. It's not an answer. Well, it's not an answer. It's not an answer. It's not an answer. It's not an answer. You know that face? That is the guiltiest face I've seen all day. Guilty. Baloney. Ridiculous. You stuck Miss Doyle, who is a single parent raising 3 children with bills for your cosmetic dentistry. And you think that I am not going to humiliate you in front of 10 million people?
When you lay it out like that, yes,
If
I
your
am.
mother didn't lay it out feel like that, I'm going to lay it out feel like that. You speak, I rule, and then you shut up. Do you understand?
When I was living in that shed, I was watching the TV and I just happened to see your show.
If you would have watched me more frequently, Dion, you would never be here today. You are pretty thick, stupid, outrageous. Baloney. Liar, baby, the wise guys. Are you kidding me? Get over it. I don't know what you're talking about. He cheats all the time. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you trying to justify to me the fact that you're an idiot? This is a case of who's got the most attitude. Who do you think has the most attitude? You did this ridiculous thing.
Oh, I did.
That I believe that you did.
Oh, I did.
Yes, you did. Don't say it again.
But I didn't.
There's only one person who gets the last word, and that's me. How old are you?
33.
You're
You look
supposed-
33, by the way.
That's very nice of you. It's not going to help you one bit. Aren't you sorry you made a fool of yourself?
Yeah.
Sit down.
Judge Judy.
I almost forgot how entertaining this could be. What are you talking about?
Oh, that was brilliant. What a way to end the JJ sesh. I loved it. Thank you, Shreyan. Yes, I do post a bit of braces content every once in a while. I'm due for an update video soon, but all the best on you getting yours, because definitely would not ever change it. I got them in November 2019. And I'm getting them off this year in 6 months, and time just flies, and I feel like $1 million after, so it's definitely worth doing if you are feeling some type of way about your mouth, you know what I'm saying? But thanks for my 4 concurrent viewers that are still with me. I hope that you enjoyed. And I didn't get kicked off, so that's a good sign that I could probably do the JJ sesh more. Don't know how I'm going to go with my 600-pound life and stuff. I don't, especially don't know how I'm going to go with Catfish, because Catfish is MTV, and MTV seem to be pretty how you going with that kind of stuff, but we'll figure it out as we go. Worst case, I can look at other YouTube channels, if you guys want to look at those, or we could just hang out and chat live. That could be a thing too, but we'll figure it out as we go. But yeah, nice to meet the new peeps that aren't usually on my stream. Nice to see you, nice to hang. Was good getting involved in chatting as well. I hope that everything came through all right, my audio's all right. As I said, it's my first stream, so I don't know how I'm doing, but I think I'm doing okay. Oh, Australian, you got them in March. Nice. So you went through, oh man, the first 2 months. The worst. Or not even the first 2 months. The first 3 weeks maybe. It's just like, ugh, you can't even breathe because everything hurts and you can't eat anything and you think you're never going to be able to eat a taco again. But it gets easier. And it's so worth it. Speaking of eating, I think I have steak waiting for me downstairs, but no rush. Let's wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for hanging. I love tacos. I'm a Mexican gal. I love a good Mexican food. Tacos, burritos. Ooh, I had a taco bowl today. It was so good. Oh, and I'm having one tomorrow actually as well. I had lots of leftovers. So taco bowls all week for you girl, Rabbi K. But yes, I hope everything came through all right. For the new people that I haven't met before, so good to chat, so good to meet you. And I hope that you consider subscribing to my channel. I'm now previously prior to this stream, so we'll see how we go. But I was at 1,011 subscribers, and I just am feeling real happy and confident and feeling real good about hanging out with everybody in my channel. So anyway, I'm going to stop being a little sook, and we will chat next week on Wednesday, but I will have a video out before then. So once again, subscribe, click the notification bells, press the buttons, click the buzzwords, We're going to wrap this up. Have a wonderful evening or a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Do the buzzwords, click the notification bells, and I will see you in my next video, and I'll see you in my next live stream. Much love.